Kelly, this is one of my favorite short attention span webinars. You know why?
Because I have to do all the work.
Yes, I do nothing on this. I love this one.
All right, go get your coffee and pet your kitty and come back in 8 minutes.
All right, so this one is how to do a customer review. And to handle this, this is our subject matter expert on the subject, Kelly Malazzi, who is going to tell you what kind of conversation bullet points you want to have in this conversation. Kelly, it's all you.
I don't know how I became a subject matter expert, but I will say I'm an evangelist when it comes to this because I'm constantly shocked that more of you out there aren't doing this with your key clients. And it's also, this is the perfect timing for it because certainly the end of a year is a perfect position a way to position this to say to the client, hey, it's the end of the year, let's wrap it up, let's review how we did and all of that. So this is a great time to do it. That being said, you can do this anytime, and you should do this anytime. In fact, the larger accounts, you may consider doing this on a quarterly basis or even a monthly basis if it warrants it. But this is really a dialogue that you want to have with your customer as a defensive posture to make sure that you are fending off your competition and continually showing your value and demonstrating that this is a partnership and that while they're very important to you, this is also that you're important to them too, that this is a mutually beneficial relationship. So I advocate creating a document that you would use kind of as a blueprint, as it says here, which is almost as if you were going to be kind of asking a questionnaire. I don't necessarily think you want to give this to the client ahead of time because sometimes it's better to get the answers as they kind of come straight off their heads. So some of the things you want to discuss in a review are, what are we doing well? Tell us about what's going well with this relationship. This is a time, too, that if you're collecting any metrics on your clients, on-time delivery percentages, error rates, things like that, and hopefully that news is good, this is a great time to show that stuff. We were 99% on our on-time deliveries, and we had an error rate of 0.2%. This is a great time to present that kind of stuff. So you want to hear, though, again, the vast majority of this should be information coming from them to you about what you're doing well. Now, the second thing, of course, the other side of that coin is what could we be doing better? What are some areas of improvement? And this could be anything from customer service to estimating to delivery to proofs to quality, anything like that. The third one is kind of one of the ones I like to call, the blank check or the magic wand question, which is if you could have anything, if there was anything we could provide to you that we're not currently doing, what would it be? And one thing, folks, that I should say here is that it's very, very important when you're asking these questions that you ask them and then shut your mouth. It's very important that you ask and then be silent. Don't put any words out there. Don't give them some, for example, is it this? Is it this? Ask the question and then wait for the information. Even if there's an uncomfortable silence there while they're thinking about it, try to be quiet. And finally, a great question is on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being crappy and 5 being super turbo awesome, where do we rate? And again, this is important information, especially if there's room for improvement. You want to know what you could be doing better, and you want to know what their perception is of you. I can't tell you how many times I go into a client and we talk about their current situation, and when we really get into the accounts, it's, these guys love me. These guys love me. These guys would never, ever, ever consider sending anything anywhere else. And I'm sorry to be the one to tell you this, folks, but that's often not as true as you think it is. And asking, hopefully in cases where, this is a very large customer with, multiple departments, you've got more than one person on the client side in the room with you when this happens. And finally, what is your biggest challenge of 2014? Now, that sounds like a kind of a big nebulous, kind of open-ended question, and you may want to put some parameters around that with regard to your print communications when it comes to your advertising expenditures. If you want to couch it that way, that's fine, but you really want to figure out especially if you've got, C-level or director level people in the room. What's going to be keeping them up so that you can start to kind of on the back end craft some solutions that will help them solve those problems. So again, it's a dialogue. You want to do more listening than talking. And there, again, this bill is another one that we could probably do, 3 or 4 short attention span webinars because there are so many aspects to it. But this is certainly a good jumping off point.
No, you did great. You did great. I was able to read War and Peace and mow my lawn, and no, you did terrific. Thank you very much for that, Kelly. That was great.
Thanks, Bill.
Great time of year to do this, and think to yourself, where do I want to be? How do I get out ahead of the customer? I'll tell you what, if you're not doing this and you lose an account because of something that you should have known, this is what you should have done. So ask these questions. You might not like the answers, but at least you're going to give yourself a chance to rectify before it's too late. So Kelly, great job. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Bill.
And we'll talk to you all again on another short attention span webinar.